Imagine you're driving home from work on a Tuesday evening. The radio is playing your favorite song, traffic is light, and you're thinking about what to make for dinner. Then, in an instant, everything changes. A car runs a red light and slams into your side. Metal crunches, glass shatters, and suddenly you're bleeding. A lot. What happens next isn't just about the obvious injury you can see. It's about an incredible, desperate battle happening inside your body that most people never understand. Your body is about to wage war against death itself, using every trick it has learned over millions of years of evolution. Right now, as you sit listening to this, you have about 5 liters of blood flowing through your body. That's roughly 10.5 pints, or about the same amount as 5 large bottles of soda. This blood isn't just red liquid sloshing around inside you, it's your body's most sophisticated delivery and communication system, more complex than any network humans have ever built. But here's what's terrifying. You can lose almost half of that blood and still survive, if you get help in time. Lose more than half, and your chances of survival drop to almost zero. Today, we're going to take you on a journey through what happens when your body starts losing this precious resource. Your blood is working right now, even as you listen to these words. Every second, your heart pumps about 2.5 ounces of blood through your body. In 1 minute, your entire blood supply makes a complete circuit through your cardiovascular system. It's carrying oxygen to your brain so you can understand these words, delivering nutrients to your muscles so you can move, and removing waste products that would poison you if they built up. Think of your blood as the ultimate delivery service. It has 4 main components, each with a specific job that keeps you alive every moment of every day. Red blood cells are like oxygen delivery trucks carrying life-giving oxygen from your lungs to every cell in your body. They make up about 44% of your blood and get their red color from a protein called hemoglobin. Each red blood cell contains approximately 270 million hemoglobin molecules, and each one lives for about 4 months, working around the clock before your body replaces it with a fresh one. These cells are so specialized that they don't even have a nucleus. They've given up their control center to make more room for oxygen-carrying hemoglobin. White blood cells are your body's security force, patrolling your bloodstream looking for invaders like bacteria, viruses, and other threats. Though they make up less than 1% of your blood, they're incredibly powerful. When they find an enemy, they can multiply rapidly and launch a coordinated attack to protect you. You have 5 different types of white blood cells, each with specialized functions, from the neutrophils that are first responders to infections to the lymphocytes that remember past invaders and mount targeted attacks. Platelets are your emergency repair crew, rushing to any damaged blood vessel to form clots and stop bleeding. These tiny cell fragments are like having a construction crew on standby 24 hours a day, ready to patch any leaks in your circulatory system. They only live for about a week, but your bone marrow constantly makes new ones. When a blood vessel is damaged, platelets stick to the injury site and release chemicals that attract more platelets, forming a plug that stops bleeding. Finally, there's plasma, the yellowish liquid that makes up about 55% of your blood and carries everything else around your body. Plasma is more than 90% water, but it's also loaded with proteins, hormones, nutrients, and waste products. It's the highway system that carries blood cells, nutrients from your digestive system, hormones from your glands, and waste products to your kidneys and liver for disposal. When you start losing blood, you're not just losing red liquid. You're losing your body's ability to deliver oxygen, fight infections, repair damage, and maintain the delicate chemical balance that keeps you alive. And your body knows it. Let's go back to that car accident. You're bleeding, but you don't realize how much yet. In the first few minutes, you lose about 15% of your blood volume. That's roughly 3 cups of blood, or about 750 milliliters. Here's what's remarkable. At this stage, you might not even realize you're in serious trouble. Your blood pressure might still be normal. Your heart rate might only be slightly elevated, but your body knows better. The moment you started bleeding, sensors throughout your cardiovascular system detected the drop in blood volume. These sensors, called baroreceptors, are like sophisticated pressure gauges installed in your major arteries. They constantly monitor the pressure and stretch of your blood vessels, sending continuous updates to your brain about the state of your circulation. When these baroreceptors sense that pressure is dropping, they immediately send alarm signals to your brainstem, specifically to an area called the medulla oblongata. This is your body's cardiovascular control center, and it responds to the emergency with lightning speed. Your brain responds instantly by activating your sympathetic nervous system, the same system that kicks in when you're startled or scared, but now it's preparing you to survive blood loss. The first thing your body does is start closing off blood vessels in your arms, legs, and other areas that aren't immediately critical for survival. This process is called vasoconstriction, and it's like closing lanes on a highway to concentrate traffic in the remaining open lanes. The smooth muscles in your blood vessel walls contract, making the vessels narrower and increasing resistance to blood flow. By making your blood vessels smaller, your body can maintain blood pressure even with less blood volume. This vasoconstriction doesn't happen everywhere at once. Your body is incredibly smart about which blood vessels to constrict and which to keep open. Blood vessels in your skin, muscles, and digestive system are the first to be constricted, while blood vessels leading to your brain, heart, and kidneys are kept as open as possible. It's a sophisticated triage system that prioritizes the organs most critical for immediate survival. This is why people who are bleeding often have pale, cool skin. Blood is being redirected away from the skin and extremities toward your vital organs. Your hands and feet might feel cold, and your skin might look grayish or pale. It's not just cosmetic, it's a sign that your body is making hard choices about where to send your remaining blood. At the same time, your heart starts working harder. It begins beating faster and with more force, trying to pump your remaining blood more efficiently. Your breathing might become slightly faster as your body tries to extract more oxygen from each breath. The amazing thing is how well this system works initially. Your body can lose up to 15% of its blood volume and still maintain normal blood pressure and organ function. Now, you've lost between 15 and 30% of your blood volume. That's anywhere from 3 to 6 cups of blood. This is when things start to get serious, and your body's response becomes impossible to ignore. Your heart is now working significantly harder, beating much faster than normal. Your breathing becomes noticeably faster too. You might feel like you can't quite catch your breath, even if you're not doing anything physically demanding. Your blood pressure starts to change in interesting ways. Initially, your diastolic blood pressure might actually increase slightly because your blood vessels are constricting so much. But as you continue to lose blood, your systolic blood pressure starts to drop. You'll start to feel anxious and uneasy, and this isn't just psychological. The reduced blood flow to your brain is affecting your mental state. Your skin becomes noticeably pale and cool to the touch. You might start to feel weak or tired, even though you haven't been physically active. Your urine output starts to decrease as your kidneys get less blood flow. At this stage, medical professionals would classify you as being in early shock. Your body is making increasingly desperate choices about where to send your remaining blood. Your brain and heart are getting top priority, but everything else is being sacrificed. You've now lost 30 to 40% of your blood volume. That's 6 to 8 cups of blood, or up to 2 liters. This is when your body's emergency protocols shift into overdrive, and the situation becomes life-threatening. Your blood pressure drops significantly now. No matter how fast your heart beats or how much your blood vessels constrict, there simply isn't enough blood to maintain normal circulation. Your heart is beating incredibly fast now, often over 120 beats per minute, but it's like trying to pump water from a nearly empty well. Your breathing becomes rapid and shallow. You might be taking 30 or more breaths per minute, but here's the cruel irony. Even though you're breathing faster, your body is getting less oxygen than ever. There simply aren't enough red blood cells left to carry oxygen efficiently. This is when confusion and disorientation set in. Your brain isn't getting enough oxygen to function normally. You might have trouble thinking clearly, remembering things, or understanding what's happening around you. Your body is now making brutal choices about blood distribution. Blood flow to your arms and legs is severely reduced, but the most dramatic change is happening at the cellular level. Up until now, your cells have been able to produce energy through their normal process, which requires oxygen. But when cells don't get enough oxygen, they have to switch to a backup system called anaerobic metabolism. This produces much less energy and creates toxic waste products. The main waste product is lactic acid. As your cells throughout your body switch to this emergency energy production, lactic acid starts building up in your bloodstream, making your blood more acidic. This acidosis, combined with the lack of oxygen, starts a vicious cycle that makes your body's ability to maintain blood pressure fail. You've now lost more than 40% of your blood volume. That's over 8 cups of blood, more than 2 liters. You're in the fight of your life, and your body is losing. Your heart is still beating fast, but it's struggling now. Your blood pressure has dropped to dangerously low levels. Your kidneys have essentially shut down, producing little to no urine. Your brain is struggling despite being your body's highest priority for blood flow. You might slip in and out of consciousness. Other organs are beginning to fail too. Your liver is shutting down. Your digestive system has completely stopped working. The lactic acid buildup in your blood is now severe, causing your blood vessels to lose their ability to stay constricted. At this point, you're likely unconscious and your body is fighting a losing battle against death. As you approach 50% blood loss, you cross into territory where survival becomes almost impossible. You've lost half of your blood volume. At 50% blood loss, your cardiovascular system completely collapses. Your organs begin shutting down in a predictable sequence. Your heart, which has been working overtime for hours, finally begins to give out. This is why 50% blood loss is usually fatal. Once you cross this threshold, your body's body's ability to maintain life simply collapses. Death from blood loss is ultimately death from oxygen starvation. When there isn't enough blood to deliver oxygen, cells throughout your body begin to die. But this story doesn't have to end in death. Modern medicine has given us incredible tools to fight blood loss and save lives. The key to survival is time and immediate medical intervention. When paramedics arrive, they're racing against your body's failing compensation mechanisms. The first thing medical professionals do is try to stop the bleeding and replace the blood you've lost. Blood transfusions are one of modern medicine's greatest miracles. When you receive donated blood, you're literally receiving life from another person. The donated red blood cells immediately start carrying oxygen to your starved tissues. What's amazing is how quickly your body can start to recover once it gets the resources it needs. Within minutes of receiving blood and fluids, your blood pressure can start to improve. Your body immediately begins the process of healing and recovery. Your bone marrow can increase blood cell production by up to 7 times normal levels. The human body's ability to recover from severe blood loss is truly remarkable. People have survived losing up to 40% of their blood volume and made complete recoveries. With prompt medical care, even severe blood loss doesn't have to be fatal, but recovery isn't always complete. Severe blood loss can cause lasting damage, especially if organs were deprived of oxygen for too long. This is why time is so critical. The faster someone gets medical help after severe blood loss, the better their chances of not just surviving, but making a complete recovery. The story of blood loss is ultimately a story about the incredible complexity and resilience of the human body. Your body has evolved sophisticated mechanisms to deal with blood loss, but it's also a story about the limits of human endurance. Beyond a certain point, survival depends on outside help. Every time you see an ambulance racing down the street with its sirens blaring, remember that inside might be someone whose body is fighting this exact battle. The next time you're eligible to donate blood, remember that your donation could be the difference between life and death for someone experiencing severe blood loss. Your body is an incredible machine, capable of surviving trauma that would destroy any human-made system, but it's also fragile, dependent on a delicate balance that can be disrupted in an instant. Understanding how your body responds to blood loss gives you a new appreciation for both its strength and its vulnerability. In the end, the story of what happens when you lose too much blood is a story about life itself, how precious it is, how fragile it can be, and how hard your body will fight to preserve it. That's the incredible, terrifying, and ultimately hopeful story of what happens to your body when you lose too much blood. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more fun blood-related facts.